Welcome to Slasher Sunday. So tonight I'm going to be talking about the Redeemer, Son of Satan. So I have a patron level on my podcast, and there's only two people at that level, Teddy Brown and Slade Shepherd, and they kind of get the goings on of what's happening behind the scenes, and they get first look, and they get, whatever. They get perks and this and that, and they get their own private conversation with me and the co-host, Rebecca Reinhardt. And I went in there and I was like, what Slasher Sunday should I do? Because I didn't have a pick and it was tonight. And Slade Shepherd, I mean, seriously, almost before I could even finish typing the thing, his response was so fast, was, you need to do Redeemer, Son of Satan. Now, I had been familiar with the poster, but I had never seen the film. And from the poster, I had always thought it was like a monster movie or something. It is not. It is definitely a slasher movie, but it was before the slasher template had kind of been created by Halloween. It was, well, I shouldn't say before, but released at the same time. It was 1978, so you could technically, call this like a proto-slasher. This is something that started the slasher genre. You had Black Christmas, and you had this, and you had that. And the arguments can go on for days. It's like the Ramones, Sex Pistols, who started punk, Velvet Underground, whatever the hell. People can always argue about that kind of stuff. And I don't know what I would consider the first slasher movie. If I had to, like at gunpoint, I'd probably say Mario Bava's Bay of Blood, or Twitch of the Death Nerve, whichever way you want to say it. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Before I get into the review, though, I want to give a shout out to Jake Grogan, who just bought a Slasher Sunday shirt. I almost forgot I had those damn things. It's been so long since someone has purchased one, but I have shown pictures of almost everyone who's ever bought one on the channel, and I'm gonna show you one right now. Look at this sexy son of a bitch right here. What a smoke show, right? Thank you to Jake for buying a shirt for me, and also I want to point out that he just started his own YouTube channel. Good luck with that, man. This is not as easy as it looks, I can assure you of that, but hopefully it's a lot of fun for you. He just started his channel. He has 3 videos and now 4 subscribers with this guy here. So I'll leave a link in the description below to his channel if you want to check him out. And thank you for the contribution there, man. And because he bought a Slasher Sunday shirt, I'm going to do a Slasher Sunday review for him next week. And the movie is The Final Terror. A little preview of what we're doing. I never do that, but he asked for it. We'll do it. It's on Prime. It works. I know the movie. It's I think I've seen it. I don't know. I can't keep them all straight. Okay, so The Redeemer, Son of Satan. This is a weird movie, man. This is a very surreal, nightmarish, fantasy kind. It isn't a fantasy movie. I don't want it to make it seem like it's freaking Legend with Tom Cruise or something. That's not what I mean by that, but it feels very fantastical. It feels very nightmarishly surreal at times. And I was very intrigued by this movie. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense from what I can gather. Now, you could debate on what's what, and Slade and I did. After the movie was over, man, I came to him and I was like, okay, this is your pick. You need to tell me what the hell is going on. What's this and that and that and that? Maybe did I miss something? And did I, whatever. I'm sure he's seen it more than I have. Another thing about this movie is it looks dreadful. So the copies that they had out there in circulation, they had never gotten a proper release, so they took the original footage from all the different, film stock that they had left over, and they took the best pieces and pieced it all together to try to make the best looking movie they could. But man, there is some rough shit in here. I actually thought it was a joke at first. I thought it was maybe a production company or a releasing company distribution company's logo or something, because it was so grand. I thought it was going to be like retro movies or something, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually the film. I'm going to have to watch a movie that looks like this. So at first I was pretty worried, but as the movie went on, I became more and more intrigued and more invested in the movie, just because of how weird it was. So if you haven't seen it, it is on Prime. Go check it out and come on back. All right, let's talk about this very bizarre flick. So, I honestly had no idea what the hell was going on a good amount. Just because, I mean, I get the basic concept. This plays out like a Slaughter High or something, where a bunch of people are invited to their high school reunion. They show up. There's no one there but them. The killer comes for them and starts picking them off one by one and giving, we find out that these people were bad people, this and that. But this one is not a typical slasher in the sense of like, it's just some guy out for vengeance or it's some normal man. It's like almost a demonic possession or a devil movie or something along those lines, but he's doing some slashing in the film. But it very much plays out like a slasher film. And since it came out at the same year as Halloween, I can't really say that it took from Halloween. But it, yeah, as I said, it's kind of around the genesis of the slasher genre. So now, what the hell is going on with I don't know what is exactly happening here with the priest and the kid. So in the beginning, we have a priest and he's doing his little sermon there and he's talking and he's got these choir kids, and the choir kids before that are sitting there, and this kid tells a dirty joke about sex or something, and one of the kids doesn't laugh. Man, you think you've had tough crowds before? This is a tough comedian. Goes out into the audience and grabs one of his things and is like, I told a joke and you didn't laugh, and he pulls a switchblade on him. And that very same switchblade is used to murder a little girl, and she's thrown in the back of a trunk, and the car drives off, and I'm guessing that's a frame job on the kid with the knife. I guess, I don't know, because then the kid retreats back into the lake, but all the kids in the class seemed to know who he was, so it wasn't like he was just some random kid who showed up there. Was he possessed in that moment? Now, when the priest in the movie loses his thumb, because there's like two thumbs, which I guess is supposed to signify that he has been possessed, that he's a host, and that there's like another body that's inside of him, and that's kind of how we see it. And then it disappears from his body and it appears on the kid, and then the kid disappears into the lake. So was the kid from the lake? Did he come out for a long time and then passed it on to the priest? And then when the priest was possessed, he's the one. The kids that were in the opening of the movie, are those kids then now grown up? Or are those just from now? Because it looks like the priest is the same age as when he's killing the guy. So I'm guessing those kids actually don't have anything to do with anything, really. And that the guys that are coming now are completely disconnected. Because you think this is going to be a revenge story on the kid who gets bullied in the dressing room or whatever the hell you want to call it, the locker or something. But I don't think that that's what's going on there, and the killer is to be revealed to be that. But then there's a marionette puppet that is being a killer as well in here, and a couple different inanimate object looking things. Like there's also like a mascot looking character. What I really like about this movie is the change in wardrobe of the killer. Whether it be him actually himself putting on this almost a Grim Reaper attire, or dressing like a clown, or you have the killer marionette looking puppet thing, and then you've got this mascot looking killer puppet thing, and you've got all sorts of different killers in this, which is refreshing coming from, slasher franchises like Friday the 13th, and Halloween, Freddy Krueger, whatever, or Nightmare on Elm Street. Child's Play, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know what I'm saying. Like, it's Leatherface, it's Michael Myers, it's Jason Voorhees. It's always the same. They have the same mask. Although with the Friday the 13th series, at least, like, it's his mother in the first, it's he's got a freaking burlap sack in the second, he's got a hockey mask in the third. So the look does change a little bit, but that's from film to film. This is in one film. You get multiple different looks from multiple colors. Is who's dressed in the costumes the kid? Or is that a possessed inanimate object that's being worked by some supernatural force? And so I couldn't figure any of that stuff out. I know that they're being killed for their sins. They have like one of the 7 deadly sins. There's only 6 of them though. So is the girl who's killed in the trunk is the 7th victim of the 7 sins? I don't fucking know. I love how this guy, he's invited to his high school reunion, and he calls up his date and he's like, hey babe, I'm definitely going to my high school reunion, so I'm canceling our date. Ciao, baby. And just hangs up. Wow. Yeah, I'm not really feeling too sorry for this guy when he dies. Another one of these guys has got to be one of the worst overactors I've ever seen when it comes to a portrayal of someone who's intoxicated. His intoxication is just ridiculous. Just like, oh baby, blah, blah, blah. It's so funny. I was watching. We got a lesbian relationship in here where the girl's like, you're not ashamed of me, are you? And all this and that. Is her sin being gay, or is her sin leaving her girlfriend behind and living in denial? Personally, of course, I think it's the denial part. I have nothing against homosexuality in the fucking slightest. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what is her sin. I don't know what the movie's trying to say with her, but there you go. Then one of the other characters has target practice with live birds, and then she herself gets shot. So a little bit of poetic justice, and she's carrying around a duck, target shoot practice thing, and she like throws it up in the air to run, and the guy actually wastes his bullets shooting the thing, maybe to show her he's a good shot. I don't know, but I thought it was kind of ironic that it's like those are what you're supposed to be shooting, almost like a lesson that's being taught there, or like trying to remind her of like why she's dying. So I kind of liked that bird was incorporated. Like, this is what you should have been using. Now that you know that, this is why you're dying. And so she gets shot, and she even has the gun at one point. And it's like, I would hold on to that if I was you, because this guy's acting real freaking, odd. When she meets him, he's just like, he doesn't seem to care at all of her plight. Whatever she's saying to him, he's just like, oh, and he's trying to tell her about his day, like making small talk, and she's like, can we hurry the fuck up? The music in this, I think the music in this is excellent. It's very, what would I want to say here? I guess uncomfortable, that's the way the movie feels, and the music really plays to that. And I dig that about the movie. And I like that they find the dead body of the guy who let them in there, and there's maggots in his body, and one of them's smart enough to know, like, oh, that wouldn't happen for a long time. So the guy who let us in is not the guy who's dead here. And then they find a whole string of dead bodies that are all rotting, and I thought the makeup and all that was pretty cool on all the bodies and added to the creepiness. And the mascot in the chair with like a flamethrower, good looking scary creature looking thing there. I don't know what the hell that thing was, but it was pretty good. I also like that the guy who came out with the gun is like, he puts his gun down, he's like, I don't like talking to people with a gun in my hand, I think it's rude. But that was a pretty funny line. And then the speech on the stage that he gives all of them before the marionette brings down his sword, and then a sword like drops from the roof through a guy's head. I thought that whole sequence was the best in the entire film. I absolutely loved that speech on stage. It almost reminded me of like Vincent Price in Theater of Blood, I'll stick with that one. If you haven't seen that movie, highly recommend it. I need to review that for Slasher Sunday. I love that movie. Yeah, the drowning too of the clown. The clown drowns the girl, and it's like multiple times where she comes up for air. I'm not sure why he turned the shower on her. Was that to burn her, or I don't know what that was, but yeah, he starts drowning her in the time, and she fights back, and she pushes her head up. It must be 6-7 times, so it's a pretty brutal drowning. But I honestly have no idea what the hell is going on in this movie with like the killer, what his motives are, if it's the devil, if it's a possession, who that kid is. Was that kid ever really a kid? Was he possessed? Does he just dwell in the lake until somebody else comes? Do they always send out the same looking kid? Do they? Can someone explain this to me? Anybody who knows this movie better than Slade and myself do? I mean, I just watched it for the first time. I don't see anything on YouTube that's like a breakdown analysis type of video. So I just got shit for that actually recently from some guy. He's like, hey, just so you know, I watch videos to be informed, and you seem to be just as confused about these movies as I am. Like fucking good if you do. Like I watch videos to be informed, man. You're not informing me. And it's like, then watch somebody else. Like I like to break down my thoughts right here live and kind of hash them out with you guys and talk about them with you below. I'm not here as fucking an explainer. I'm not sitting here trying to, act like a smart guy who's going to be like, hey, this is the meaning. If I have my own interpretation, of course I'm going to share it. But I thought that comment was absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that he took his time instead of just searching for another review on that is so funny to me, that people actually waste their time to talk shit. Not only to me, trust me, a lot of my friends on YouTube as well get these comments, and I go through and I look at them, and I have to respond to some of these guys. I'm just like, get a fucking life, dude. Anyways, not that I can't take constructive criticism. I can, absolutely. Give it to me. But don't be a dick about it. That's when you're immediately gonna get shut down. As soon as you're an asshole, like, dude, you're a fucking idiot, this and that. And then when you respond, they're like, I'm just trying to be creatively or constructively critical. And you're like, yeah, because that's how I'm gonna take constructive criticism, is by someone, making fun of me and questioning my intellect. Good move. That's exactly what you meant. You meant to be a dick so that people would like your comment and be like, oh my god, this guy's so smart and with it. Anyways, alright, so The Redeemer, Son of Satan is on Amazon Prime. Once again, thank you to Slade for recommending this, and thank you to Jake Grogan. I really appreciate checking out the store and purchasing a shirt. That was awesome, man, and I hope more people check them out. I need to get a new design. If you got a design, if you got something, send it on over to me. I'll take a look at it, and if it's something I dig, you might see it on a shirt. Let me know. Adios.